one of my annoyance with the idea of Luffy being the chosen one. The problem isn't with him being chosen because we've seen a lot of films and a lot of shonen with protagonists who are chosen, but at the end of the day, it always comes down to execution. For example, nothing about Jon Snow, like he might be Azor Ahai, for instance, but nothing about Jon Snow and the execution screams to me, this guy, everything he does, he would always like win. Like there's a sense of there's a sense of there's a
Yeah,
sense
but you
of
can't compare, man, because the thing about shonen, yeah, you know the main character is gonna win. Whereas Game of Thrones is nothing like a shonen where there isn't a set main character. It
and
doesn't
then
matter.
we've had this, fair enough, but we've had this discussion.
Yeah,
There
but
needs
Game
to
of
be a
Thrones is not even a good one to use because you can
yeah.
use American media and other stuff because you can use that because most other shows do have a main character. Game of Thrones is rare where there's not a main character.
Man, I don't even
So we know,
even
that
compare with
Luffy is
that.
never gonna die until he reaches Pirate King. Whereas if you're using something like, more like Iron Man or whatever, yeah, at least for Iron Man, he's the main guy for that thing.
No,
So
no, no.
he ain't.
But what I'm comparing, I'm not comparing. What I'm comparing is though is the execution of the chosen one in Western media against Eastern media. In this case, the Japan. What I'm comparing is when you look at Jon Snow, there's nothing about you that screams so many times that I am the chosen one, I am the chosen one. But when you look at Luffy now, you have everything literally has been laid out for him. For instance.
Yeah, but the way Martin wrote that shit is a mystery.
No, but
in terms of John's, John's lineage, John's lineage, yeah, the pieces are put together at the end, and it's like a mystery, and it's supposed to be a mind blowing type of thing. Whereas in Shonen, yeah, once we met Kureha, and she told us that there's an importance to the name Monkey D, or to the initial D. That's when I knew he was chosen. I used to think he was just a random guy. But once Kureha told us about the importance of the D in like episode 70s, that's when I realized he was chosen. This is my first anime. So, it was laid out, but
I'm talking about in terms of nothing about Jon Snow. Like we even knew, some people knew of his lineage. Some people guessed that it could probably be he's half Targaryen.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's because it was a mystery. Because if you look at Jon, yeah, we would never think he's a Azor Ahai because he was a bastard, for instance. But we find out in real life he's not. Whereas it's all a mystery. But we know from pretty early on in the series that Luffy has, a proper name, and the name is important, and they're supposed to hide it, but he ain't hiding it.
No, but what I'm trying to say though is
the execution.
Nothing about Jon Snow screams like nothing about Jon Snow. There's not for example, with Luffy, we understand that he's a D, right? And we understand, okay, he's a D, and there must be something special about that. And then later on throughout the story, we come to understand that it's almost like it's the people that carry the will of D who are probably, not only are they destined for greatness, we come to understand that it's probably only someone who's a D who can actually get the One Piece and become King of the Pirates. So it's making it seem like only the D can do it. Do you know what I mean? And then, but in Game of Thrones, for example, now Jon Snow, it seems like it's not just Jon Snow. You have Daenerys, you have other characters who can come together in order to help defeat the final boss, for example. And then not only
they can help, but even the way that Game of Thrones is written, yeah, the way Game of Thrones is written, and the lore of the history and the whole Azor Ahai, everything about that is actually, you can actually compare the Targaryen bloodline to the D bloodline. They are the important bloodline. It is the Targaryens. The reason why Jon is important,
no, it's not just them,
is because he's a Targaryen. True. Ice and Fire.
But that's the thing. All we have for Jon Snow.
It's basically they have two Ds, and same way Oda has two Ds,
Yeah,
because
but
the fate of the Celestials and the Ds are tied.
Yeah, but
so
my
it's the same
point
shit.
isn't even the fact that that Luffy's a D and Jon Snow is a double D, for example. It's not about the lineage. It's with Jon Snow. All we know is that he's special because he's half Targaryen and he's half Stark. So that means he'll be able to probably in the future be able to ride a dragon. That's number one, and be resistant to fire. Probably have dragon dreams, right? We understand that his lineage sort of gives him some special abilities.
And apparently in the book he's a wolf.
Yeah, but he doesn't know it yet. But that's the thing. And we've seen many characters. It's not something that's only special to him, right? We've seen many characters also have those abilities. So it's not just him. But with Luffy now, it's you can't deny the fact that it's only like you can't. There's no sense of Luffy won't make it, because you even have
definitely not. But you can't tell me a shonen where you don't know the guy's gonna make it. So
I'm trying to say, even when you look at Luffy now, it's not just the fact that he's a D. It turns out that oh look, he also has a special fruit that some very special guy 1,000 years ago had. So it turns out that his fruit wasn't even what we had imagined, but it's actually it's this godly fruit. Not only that, so you have many things in that acts in Luffy's favor that makes it seem almost like, how do I put it? So many things are in favor of Luffy to achieve his destiny. It makes it seem like, I don't even know how to put this. Like when you compare him with Jon Snow, it's like both of them do have to work hard in order to get to where they have to be, but nothing about Jon Snow that's almost like helping him sort of get there. I don't know if that makes sense. Like
it makes sense, but it's not a great comparison because the worlds are two. One is like Disney and one is like hell. Like it's different. Like I could say to you, yeah, John having a Valyrian still sword is like him having a devil fruit.
But it's not.
He was born with that.
People have devil fruits, and devil fruits are accessible to everybody. But not everybody can be a D, number one, and not everyone can be a
Targaryen and Stark, and not everyone can have a Valyrian still sword in that era.
Plenty of people have even. Every major houses have Valyrian still.
And every major person in One Piece has a devil fruit.
Yeah, but the devil fruit, everybody has. It's accessible to everybody.
Yeah, but the shit ones are what everyone gets, and the good ones is what the top people get. It's like, okay, I can say then a sword. Everyone in Game of Thrones has a sword. They don't all have Valyrian swords.
Yeah, but there's there's nothing necessarily special about the devil fruit. I'm talking about Luffy's devil fruit. The fact that it's actually a legendary devil fruit from a godly legendary devil fruit. Do you get what I mean? And not only that, you also have the fact that I can also hear the voice of Wolfing. How I can what's his other aspect? His hat somehow goes.
Yeah, it's clues. It's clues into what the original Joy Boy had going on. That's why I need this flashback so bad.
The what?
You know, the devil fruit, the hat, all of that type of stuff. Yeah, is all clues about the original Joy Boy, and that's why we need the flashback.
Yeah, it's all clues to the original Joy Boy.
Oh, you're lagging. I can't hear you.
Which am I still lagging?
No, I can hear you now. Where's John? Oh, he's there.
Yeah,
did you hear him lagging, or was it just me? Oh.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say to this one anymore. But it's just more of the fact for me. It's like too many sort of like destiny elements are positioned for Luffy to succeed. Like everything is positioned so well for him to succeed, but you don't necessarily see that for Jon Snow, if that makes sense. Everything has to be done through making the right decisions. But with Luffy, it's like even if he's reckless and he makes impulsive decisions,
he's still gonna that's true.
He's still gonna get there. Like,
that's true.
You know what I mean? It's like for Luffy, like that's
what I'm saying though, because
but I understand. But even put
Shonen is Japanese Disney.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. But put the Western thing aside though. Even if we're just talking about the fact that it's shonen and it's just something that annoys me. It's like I wish they kept the D thing. Like, you keep the D thing, but stop giving him so much luck. You know what I mean? Stop giving him the character so much luck. It's
always been a thing about the Ds though, is that they have good luck.
Yeah, but that adds to the fact that everything is positioned in order to help him, in order to make sure he doesn't fail.
Yeah, you're right. But I feel like the thing about the One Piece world, it does. But the thing about the One Piece world is going to take someone like that to change it. Because the big bad in Game of Thrones isn't really... Well, if you're not looking at the White Walkers, the big bad in Game of Thrones is just the concept of power itself. Whereas the big bad in One Piece is a physical person who fucked up the world. So it's different. You need all this Disney shit to come together to get Emu up out here.
No, but that's the thing though. But when we're consuming a piece of media, we're trying our best to see the main character in us. We're trying to see ourselves in the main character, and in a sense, like the story is meant to reflect the sort of the life that we're living. You want it to be convincing and believable. Like I can relate to Jon Snow.
He's a normal human though, and Luffy is a special human. Like
I know he's a special human. Pardon? How can I relate to Jon Snow?
Because he's more.
I even say that.
He's a normal guy, fam. That's why. Luffy's
that's one thing. I mean, I want what he wants. I want him to get what he wants. I mean, I can relate to Luffy as well in terms of, he has a desire, he has a goal, he has a dream, and he wants to achieve it, and I want him to achieve it. So that's the point of empathy that I have with Luffy. You know, he's someone that I'm trying to reach.